Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
Yeah,
you want one quick
we
question?
can't ask Rashad a question.
What's
Okay,
going on,
Rashad.
guys? It's been a long time. In fact, let me see. It has been scroll down, 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 scroll. Wow, it's been over 2 weeks. 2 weeks since I have seen you all, since I have spoken to you all. And in that time period, the world collapsed. It all just the apocalypse happened. But I'm here to speak on the post-apocalyptic world. First things first, I have to say, long live my uncle. I love him so much. The family misses him. I miss him every single day so much. Uh, and I have to say, you know, as we're recording today in this state, an hour away from where I'm sitting at right now in Atlanta and Winder, have to pray for that school, those parents, that community. It is unfortunately a reality that this country has chosen to sit in due to our allegiance to items, very dangerous items. But due to the allegiance that we have to them, we can't let them go. And, we did put it in the Constitution. That's a constitutional right. It's what it is. It's an unfortunate thing to just accept. Like, you should think like, oh, fight, fight, fight. But after this long, it's been probably majority of my life, this has been a thing that's just been commonplace. It's kind of like an annual occurrence. And we've heard the same things our entire lives. And, it's a thing where you grow numb to it, stuff like that. Uh it's sad, but it's just the reality of the situation. For all the people, and I figured for a video like this is probably a large chunk of people up there. They're like, where's the basketball? Where's it getting basketball? I'll get to the basketball, man. I'll shut up and dribble and tap dance for you all as well. Uh in terms of Rookie of the Year, my Rookie of the Year, man. Hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. I think it's kind of like it's a runaway at this point of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin is my Rookie of the Year. I think at the beginning of the year, I said like my prediction was Rakia. I think no, I don't even remember it. I have to look at the video with Mark, but I think my prediction was Rakia at the beginning of the season. Going into it, I don't know if I ever said I was wrong about both of them. I think I did in both of their videos, individual videos, but I'll say it again. In college, I was wrong about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese in terms of like their kind of transition to the W. Not as much as with no, I was wrong about both. I ain't gonna hold you. But Caitlin did kind of, you know what I'm saying? She had her little kind of rough patch at the beginning of the year, even though the stats were still good. You could tell like her playing now and her playing at the beginning of the year is like night and day. There was definitely an adjustment period, all of those things. And yeah. Oh, I didn't even plan to speak on this. Like I said, like the world fell apart. The world blew up. Shout out to the Miami mayor, man, for blowing up the spot. I don't understand, but I mean, I kind of get it because it's like in essence, right? You do it to protect your privacy. And I get it and I respect it. But at the same token, if everybody knows, if we already know that Ice Spice is with Riot, if we already know, 90% sure that Lotto's with 21 Savage, if we already know that Asia Wilson is with Bam Adebayo, then why are we doing this entire like it's like an inside joke for the entire world? Anyways, regardless, shout out to the Miami mayor for blowing up the spot. She obviously had no clue what was going on because she called the girl Aja and then had the dude next to her say Aja. And that's still not it. But so salute to the city of Miami, man, for blowing up the spot. Let me know in the comments if you ever had your spot blown up and like what was the kind of context behind it or whatever and stuff like that. Yeah, man. I want to speak on Diamond DeShields. Appreciate Diamond DeShields for a little bit. Diamond DeShields is a Georgia high school basketball legend. She's I think just a young basketball prodigy, a young youth basketball legend, a preps basketball legend, college basketball, all of those things. Through her entire career, she was supposed to be the one. Drafted really high, experienced a lot of injuries and just like things of life. She had a difficult, I wouldn't say difficult path, but yeah, just a uncanny path going overseas. Allegedly fighting a teammate, transferring schools, all of these things. Is something that Diamond dealt with before getting to the W. Then she gets to the W, and then she deals with injuries, and then she deals with obviously just major illnesses that she overcame to the point where she learned to walk again and she got back to playing professional sports, bro. Just that makes her a champion. And she's also a literal champion for the Chicago Sky as well with that team a couple years ago with Kyle Copper as the MVP. And they have beef, which is a whole nother thing that like people have just swept under the rug. I feel like I'm the only one on the internet talking about this Diamond DeShields and Kyle Copper beef that exists. Um, because if okay, the short run of it, because I know I always mention it, and people are like, "What happened?" The short run of it was all of the tweets have been deleted, so I don't know exactly what was said, but it was essentially this: Diamond DeShields was re-signed to the Chicago Sky after spending time with Phoenix or whatever the past couple years in the offseason, right? Like the next day or like very short close to that, Kyle Copper gets traded to, the Phoenix Mercury. And then they both kind of traded tweets at each other around that time period, whatever, between the announcement of Diamond DeShields going back to the Chicago Sky and Kyle Copper getting traded to the Phoenix Mercury. And they both deleted both of them. So I don't know. I kind of read between the lines. Other people read between the lines that they had some beef, that they had some type of rift going on. And that was that. So, with that being said, that was that. All of that aside, Dominic Shields is an amazing story, a great athlete, a Georgia legend, and a young basketball prodigy. Just regardless of whatever happened. And I think the fact that she is still playing professional sports, period, is a testament to how talented she was pre everything. It's kind of like on the men's side of things with Sean Livingston. Sean Livingston was you know, top, what I'm saying, lottery pick, really hype coming out of high school in 2004. I remember that draft class with Josh Childress and Josh Smith, Dwight Howard, Sebastian Telfair, all those guys. Al Jefferson was '05, I think. Al Jefferson might have been '04 too. But yes, I think Jameer Nelson was that year. Trying to think of some other random names in that draft of 2004. Regardless, I'm getting off track here. So, Sean Livingston was one of the most hyped guys of that draft class. You know, he's let out on a stretcher after a terrible leg injury with the Clippers. He reemerges years later, works himself back into becoming a role player in the NBA, becomes a pivotal piece to that Golden State Warriors dynasty in the late 2010s. Him even getting back there after everything and becoming a rotational player for a championship team literally shows you just how talented he was before an injury like that. You return from an injury like that, you're never the same player. He was only a shell of himself. And that just I think shows how talented he was. It's the same thing with Diamond Shields. Just the fact that she's playing and she's a role player and a rotational piece in the WNBA for a current playoff team because the Atlanta Dream want to keep losing. Um, it's a testament to just how great she is and how talented she was. The first time I knew of Diamond DeShields, it was I believe she's 2013, if I'm not mistaken, class of 2013 out of high school. It was the same year that I graduated, and I was down at Georgia Tech with my boy Mo. Shout out to Mo. You guys know him on this channel. I was just with Mo last week at the Ice Spice concert, And but anyways, yeah, we went down to Georgia Tech for the Final Four of Georgia State, Georgia high school basketball championships. And Diamond was at Norcross at the time, which is like up in Gwinnett County, north side. And Norcross, Wheeler, those schools, they're like constantly great basketball programs. McEachern's another one, the fake MHS, ugly MHS, and Powder Springs, the real MHS, Marietta. And they always produce great basketball programs because they recruited they recruited kids and stuff like that. So um, and I know because one of the kids that were recruited to Norcross from Marietta was De'Erica Hanvey, who's now, WNBA All Star. So De'Erica went up there to Norcross. I believe they won a state championship together. And, then De'Erica graduates, goes to Wake Forest. Now Diamond is still like the face. And she's like the number one player in Georgia. I think Antonio Davis's daughter is also like in this class, and she's also like a top prospect. If not 2013, then she was around the 2010s. And she was also another player, top player in the state. But I remember just walking, we either leaving or coming to, and we were walking behind two people from Norcross, and it was just two elite athletes that could really relate to each other and stuff like that. So I guess they like, just kind of connected on just being top recruits and stuff like that in their sports. And the other guy that was walking next to Diamond DeShields was a dude named Alvin Kamara. You guys might have heard of him. All pro running back and kind of utility player for the New Orleans Saints. And yeah, they were just high schoolers back then. And Mo was just like, yo, that's like Diamond DeShields. She five. She like number one player in the state. I was like, oh, snap for real. And he was like, yeah. And I don't know if he pointed out Alvin Kamara or if we just both knew who Alvin Kamara was at the time, because you kind of follow high school recruiting a little closer when you're actually in high school. But yeah, that was both of them. I think Alvin was wearing a Norcross hoodie, and then Diamond was wearing like a Norcross hoodie, but with her Letterman over it. And yeah, man, that was like the first time I saw Diamond the Shields and kind of heard of Diamond the Shields, the legend of. It's very similar to like the first time I heard of Maya Moore. But I was in sixth grade at the time watching her play Marietta in the Sweet 16. And everybody talk about her around the gym. And I tell the story all the time. Yeah, y'all know. I say all of these things to say, man, I really appreciate Diamond and I acknowledge her uh kind of just what she's added to the game of basketball. And her, what I'm saying, contributions won't be forgotten. They won't be taken for granted. I'm not gonna belittle anybody for anything. The frustration foul that she made on Caitlin Clark was a frustration foul. It was a game of basketball. It was dirty. I mean, I don't know if I would even say dirty, but it was flagrant. It was a play that wasn't a play on the basketball that happens sometimes when people get frustrated. It wasn't no she stepped on her ankle, she walked under her when she took a jump shot and didn't let, Caitlin land, and you know what I'm saying? It wasn't any of that. It was just a bump as Caitlin was bringing the ball up the floor because she in transition because she upset that Caitlin beating them and the Indiana Fever were winning, bro. So at the end of the day, it was just basketball. And you guys took it so far and made it unbearable and just said horrific things and just left death threats. I don't even know if I could say that on YouTube. This thing might get marked for me saying that. I'm sorry. But yeah. But just saying, oh, this should have happened to you when you had this happen. And that's just uncalled for. You guys are doing too much. This season was so like just so much. Season was literally so much, bro. It was a lot. And that's saying a lot because the WNBA has a lot just in general, like going on always, like off the court with the side narratives and stuff. But this season was a lot, bro. And y'all ain't gonna suck out the fun for me. I'm gonna watch me a basketball game and enjoy it regardless, because that's what I want to do. This is what I love. It's my hobby. It's how I get away from like stress a lot of times and stuff like that. Just indulging in the world of basketball, and I'm sure Many of you can relate. That's why you're on this channel. Um, so yeah, that was whack. The other thing that was whack was the whole Angel Reese thing when she was announced as a partner with Reese's, and then like the fans tried to argue about who made Reese's PCs, and that was whack. Like people were blocking like Sabria because she was like, "Nah, I did it," and she was like, and then they were talking to the other girl like, "You ain't create Reese's PCs." Like y'all annoying too. So yeah, this ain't no, you know what I mean? I know a lot of y'all want to just call me a monkey and a racist or whatever whenever I say something bad about Caitlyn and her fans. Trust me, Angel Reese fans are annoying too, bro. Both of y'all annoying. I can't hold you. I can't hold you. But y'all strong in numbers, y'all support, and y'all have changed the dynamic of the sport. I appreciate y'all. But just because I appreciate y'all don't mean that y'all not annoying. It's like y'all got siblings. You love your siblings, but sometimes your siblings might get annoying to you, bro. That's just the nature of the world, bro, and how it is. I'm not about to say you not annoying just because like you helping bring stuff. Like, nah, you still annoying is annoying, period. Okay. So with that being said, speaking of, um, yeah, Nancy Lieberman. Nancy Lieberman getting on, talking about Caitlin Clark should have knocked Kennedy Carter's head off because Kennedy Carter pushed her after a play or whatever earlier in the season. Man, Nancy, if you don't get on, bro, and then like you Gandhi, you choking folks in the game and doing this and doing that. Now you turn 50, you acting like you Gandhi. You ain't Gandhi. You ain't Gandhi. Better sit down somewhere. I know folks was talking about Sheryl Swoopes and her past and everything like that coaching. Yo, I seen what's her name, coach? Cynthia Cooper Dyke, coach, bro. Oh my gosh. I was covering, I don't know if I ever even told this story. I probably have. I probably have on the channel. But when I was working in Mississippi and I was covering Jackson State, she was working she was coaching at, I believe, Texas Southern. And boy, Cynthia Cooper Dyke was going crazy on them girls on the sideline. She talking, she making jokes. I'm laughing. She looking back at me. Now she got an audience. She see the media member like, so she telling jokes to me for the rest of the game, man. That was entertaining, but she was some kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you as a coach. Shout out to Cynthia Cooper Dyke, man, the legend. We love you, Cynthia. Um, and I think it came out like later that I don't want to speak off top because that's slander and you can get sued for that. Hey, this is why you need to have a journalism degree if you're going to talk on the internet. Because if you didn't know this, you could end up like Tasha K. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Make sure. Yeah. Okay, that's what it was. Yeah, yeah. Former players say accused her of just a hostile environment, everything like that, playing for her. So I just want to make sure. But yeah, I definitely believe that because she was going ham, like all game, every time they came to Jackson, she just wilding and putting on the show for everybody to see. Anyways, what else? What else we talking about? Oh yeah. So then Nancy Lieberman got on you know what I mean? What she say? Oh yeah. She got on Stephen A. Here we go. Okay. I was like, why am I talking about this Nancy Lieberman thing? So then she get on Stephen A, right? Cause this what happened. Man, all y'all know this, but I'm just recapping what happened in the last 2.5 weeks with the apocalypse and why it was the apocalypse. So Sheryl Swoopes on the call, right? For the Dallas, Indiana game. No, I don't even think it's a Dallas, Indiana game. It's Dallas and like someone random in the league, right? Might have been Dallas, Las Vegas. I don't know. And they're talking about like who won player of the week. I don't know if it was Nafisa Collier, whoever was the Western Conference player of the week. They talk about them a little bit, right? So then he mentions, and Caitlin Clark had a great week too in the Eastern Conference. Boy, it got quiet when old buddy said Caitlin Clark. One play happened, dead air, you know, no talking. Dallas inbounds the ball back. and someone clipped it and said this was mad awkward. LOL. And if you guys didn't know, there was an entire thing in college with Caitlin and Sheryl Swoopes. Sheryl Swoopes said the same thing I said. She said the same thing a lot of people said. I don't know if Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are just going to come in the WNBA and just dominate right away. I think you guys are really discrediting a lot of the talent that's already in the WNBA. Fair take. And I think although Caitlin and Angel have been all stars and been some of the best players in the upper echelon of WNBA players this season, I think we all can agree that they haven't immediately dominated the WNBA. Caitlin's playing extremely well right now. She's my WNBA Rookie of the Year. She has not dominated the WNBA. She's just played above average for your typical rookie, and so has Angel. In an extended period of time, because we don't want to say no rookies ever played to this. Just a couple years ago, Ryan Howard was scoring 30 points in a back-to-back game. The first time Ricky done that since Angel McCutcheon. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Ricky's been doing stuff because in the WNBA, the rookies are coming in with 4 years of college. So it's like a lot of those rookies, they have better starts. Maya Moore won a championship, you know what I'm saying, her rookie season. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times those rookies, they come in more developed than other sports because they stay all 4 years of college. Um, but it is just like it is what it is. They aren't dominating. They're playing better than most rookies would. Oh Lord, let me turn this. Oh, okay, we here. But they aren't dominating. So, anyways, Sheryl says that. Sheryl says that on Gilbert Arenas show, Gil's Arena. And then what happened after that? She said that. Oh yeah. They said don't be a Sheryl. Don't be a Sheryl. And they almost used it like as a slur, like if you black and you talk about a white person, a white woman, and you say don't be a Karen, they were using like that to say don't be a Sheryl. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. Like y'all talking about like Sheryl Swoops, like she's just some random woman. Like this Sheryl Swoops is one of the greatest players of all time. Like what are we doing here? And you realize because a lot of people don't know exactly who Sheryl Swoops is because they didn't really watch women's basketball before, Caitlin Clark. And yeah, man. So that was an entire thing. Sheryl Swoops was getting D threats and things of that sort over social media. She ended up blocking her profiles. People are like, Caitlin, say something. I think Angel Reese spoke out about it. And then I guess people on Angel Reese side kind of cooled off. And then she went to a game. She took a picture with Angel Reese after the game and said, we good. I think she even wore a shirt that said, be a Sheryl. And then Caitlin Clark, she goes on Saturday Night Live after the season and she says, thank you, Sheryl Swoops, for paving the way. And that was that, right? So then we get to the league, and Cheryl's just kind of quiet about Caitlin, like throughout the entire season. If she does speak on about her, she's like, well, Caitlin has to do this, Caitlin has to do this. A lot of the criticism is just normal. Like Caitlin Clark is not a perfect basketball player yet. She still has holes in her game. She still has things to work on, just like every other player does. It's normal. But for some reason, when you say about Caitlyn, gets thrown away as racist hate because we don't know nothing. And Caitlin's the best thing that's ever happened to the WNBA. She's selling out arenas and she's bringing in record number of viewership. That has nothing to do with who the better basketball player is. It's like when I said Kennedy was clearly outplaying Caitlin Clark when they were playing one on one. And as far as this season, in terms of just talent and talent alone, Kennedy Carter's a better basketball player than Caitlin Clark. And everybody was like, blasphemy. And except for a few people. And shout out to those people. But it just is what it is. She's not a perfect basketball player. She's really good, above average. I would say upper half of the league in terms of talent, all star, but she's not the best. Asia Wilson is the best, which leads me into a side conversation about MVP. MVP. Caitlin Clark is not in the MVP conversation. There is no MVP conversation. This is not the same as like last year where it was like, is it Stewie or Asia? It's just Asia this year, bro. It just is what it is. So there's that. Where are we going? Where I got off track. My bad, my bad, my bad. So the whole don't be a Sheryl thing. She gets to the league. She still talks about Caitlyn. I think she apologized about Angel Reese. I apologize about being wrong about both of them. If I didn't, I'm apologizing again. Excuse me. I'm sorry for getting both of them wrong. Both of them jokers was good. They were kids. I ain't gonna lie. And Caitlyn's really put it together. And I feel like Angel has kind of stayed the same. The defense and the rebounding has definitely been just above average all season long. But the offensive shooting has been bad. And it's kind of the flip for Caitlyn. Like the shooting and just the offense, ball handling and passing the ball, things of that. It's gotten kind of better for Caitlyn. Hold on, let me take this charger out. It's gotten better for Caitlyn as the season is going on. However, the defense is like steadily just been like mediocre. She had a block in a game that I saw her in Atlanta and stuff like that, and the crowd went crazy. But overall, she's still just like a mediocre to oh, well, mediocre is average, but a mediocre defender in the W at best right now so far. And I think it's a lot of it is because she's using a lot of that, saving a lot of that energy on offense, having a ball in her hands the whole time. But it is what it is. If you guys are going to do that with Trey Young in the NBA, like I think it's fair to have the same assessment of Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. It just is what it is. Uh, so we get up to this moment where the dead air and someone points it out. Next game, Dallas Wings, Indiana Fever are in town. Sure, Nancy Lieberman's calling the game. And then she goes on Stephen A. Smith and says, yeah, I called the game because Sheryl Swoopes couldn't be professional enough to call a game featuring Caitlin Clark. So then Sheryl Swoopes said, "Ooh, girl, you got my number. You could have talked to me one on one, but you went on and talked to your friend Stephen A. Smith, and this is what you did." And she went on a rant, boy. She was going back and forth with the Twitter users. They like, Sheryl Swoopes, you don't know anything. First of all, let me tell you something about Sheryl Swoopes. Sheryl Swoopes had 47 points in a national championship game in the 90s. What are we talking about here? And a time where we said basketball had defense, and in a sport and a side where most games, especially a championship game, probably going to be scored in about the 60s to 70s. A player scored 47 points. She was a part of the first dynasty in WNBA history, 4 straight titles. I don't know about y'all, but see what happens is and I hate to keep going back to the NBA, but it's just, I love basketball. It is what it is. In the NBA, when Shaq says something, even when Charles Barkley says something, you might hate what they say, you might call them a hate or whatever. At the end of the day, you got to step back and you're like, dang, they one of the greats. Charles Barkley revolutionized the power forward position. He was like Ben Wallace, Zion Williamson, uh, Dwayne Wade, all into one. Dwayne Wade is like 6'4", right? Charles Barkley's 6'4", or he's listed at 6'4". He's a power forward, one of the best power forwards of all time. Could rebound the ball, run up and down the court coast to coast with lightning speed, dunk on anybody, crazy athleticism, block the ball, grab the ball out the rim. Not out the rim, but out of, out of the air, run back, dunk on your head, windmill on your head. It's different. Tomahawk behind your head, 2 hands. He was different. One of the best power forwards ever. Um, so while you sit up there and you might see an old fat guy like make a joke and laugh about how you did something, You got to look back and be like, yo, he's one of the best ever. I got to respect this. Caitlin Clark played in the national championship twice. These are the facts. Not once did she score 47 points in a national championship game. Even this year, when she had like what, 21 points in the first quarter, and then eventually Don Staley switched on Raven Johnson on her to shut her down for the rest of the game. She couldn't score 47 points in the national championship game. She didn't win a national championship. And so far, she's pushed Indiana into the playoffs. Congratulations. No, until she gets two, until she gets three, until she gets four. That's what they talk about. That's how they talk on the NBA side. Uh, although he has more championships, I don't think LeBron James is better than Wilt Chamberlain. That's a whole nother discussion. That's a hot take. We'll talk about that later. But I say this to say you have to acknowledge Sheryl Swoopes' greatness and respect the greatness and respect the legends, bro. Like Dominique said, like don't ish on the prior generation just to boost up your generation and your ego and everything like that. The game will always evolve. The goal of the game is to put it in a better position than where it was when you came into it. Right? That's just what it is. And I think that's what's happened with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark for sure. They've left their stamped on the game. They've put it already after one season, after a couple months, they've already put it in a better position than where they found it in terms of exposure and just fan viewership and kind of fans and everything like that around the world. But you still have to, the fans have to acknowledge and appreciate and respect Sheryl Swoopes for who Sheryl Swoopes is. And this is the WNBA. Like, it was founded, you know what I'm saying, when a lot of these women are deep into their careers or deep into their lives, like they're in their 30s and stuff like that when this league is founded. Like Sheryl Cooper, Cynthia Cooper, excuse me, I'm getting my names mixed up. Cynthia Cooper was like kind of mad old when she was, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the GOATs, like the GOAT point guard or whatever of her time. She was mad old at that time. So these are all things that you have to keep in consideration and context of just how great these women were before you just throw it off as this bitter old lady is racist. Uh, I want to hear this Sydney Brunson thing. They're talking about Sydney Brunson was on, nah, I mean, the other day was on Twitter Spaces talking about Stephen A. Smith. It's 2 minutes. Gosh, Lee, I gotta do all this. Hold on, y'all. I gotta put in a thing just to pull this up. It's not gonna let me in. But I gotta put in. Let's see, is this it? Okay, here we go. Okay, all right, we gonna play it. Dang, I can't even hear it. Is the volume? Yeah, the volume up.
Skip Bayless, to his credit, he knew who Lindsay Whalen was. He knew who Maya Moore was, wanted to have a conversation. So the fact that Stephen A is using my sister Sheryl Swoopes for clicks and likes is horrifying. And I implore everybody that can hear my voice to push back on Stephen A and say, why won't you have Sheryl on? Why won't you have Monica McNutt back? Because they called him out. He just doesn't want to face the truth, and he wants to line up in the narrative behind everybody else that Caitlin Clark came down the mountain with tablets in her hand to save the WNBA. Here's a news flash. The W didn't need saving. It just needed promotion. The product has never been the problem. It has always been the promotion. And part of the problem comes from the fact that Stephen A. Smith makes more money than God. So when it came to like showing games at different times of the day and getting advertisers to line up, they had to pay Stephen before they could do right by the WNBA at ESPN. which is why ESPN lost out on this new multi-billion-dollar deal that involves 3 different platforms outside of ESPN. I just wanted to get that off my chest. And I'd also like to say, let's press the Indiana organization. If Caitlin isn't going to do the right thing, I think General Manager Lynn Dunn, Head Coach Stephanie White, Christy Sides, other folks in that organization need to push back on the vitriol that is aimed particularly at Black women and LGBTQI plus women that make up the majority of the league. Thank you for letting me have some space.
Hey, yo. Sydney, salute. Sydney, salute. For those of y'all who don't know, Sydney Brunson also like I feel like a large figurehead in the women's basketball space, especially in the space of media on that side of things. Sydney was in a Twitter Spaces that I'll always remember from like a couple of years ago, where like she was just talking about her blackness. Because I think WNBA fans were like complaining about the coverage of white players versus black players. This has been an issue for a way before Caitlin Clark, by the way, if you're new to the space. And like they kind of cornered Sydney, and it was like unfair. And then like Sydney like just kind of broke down about like being kind of confused about her identity. It's not funny. It's not funny. But it was like she was like breaking down like in the space, and it was just like we were just all kind of like everybody in the space was just kind of like witnessing this like this vulnerable moment, and it was just like, man, she like really just like breaking down right now. It was like it was sad, but like because they kind of like cornered her into it, and then almost like bullied her when she was like kind of like hurt, and they were like, yeah, I stand on what I said. Like, you're not black, Sydney. Like, you present as white passing. And she was just like, but I grew up in that. Like, it was bad, bro. But I salute her because she still comes on Twitter Spaces after that. And she be speaking that real. That was 2 minutes of greatness. That was 2 minutes of something that you can only give if you worked for ESPN and you knew some of the logistics behind it with the broadcasting and media deals and money like that goes into that. And shout out to Yard Talk HBCU, man. Also breaking down like the media rights and the media deal that's going on with the SWAC and HBCU football and ESPN. She's really been knocking on that door to try to figure out the logistics and the specifics of those contracts and all of those details as well. So salute to her. But yeah. That's what I want to say on that. And then I think I got one more thing, and then we're gonna get out of here, church. One more thing, and we're out of here, church. Let's do Ashlyn Watkins, man. Oh no. Hold on. Should I do oh. Shout out to Donetta. She interviewed Sheryl Swoopes. She talked to her.
Sheryl, do you want to clear up any misconceptions in regards to how people view you and your opinions?
I mean, I don't really know what there is to clear up. I will say this. My opinions are just my opinions. I think everybody has their own opinions. But what I will clear up is that for whatever reason, there's this narrative that I hate Caitlin Clark. I don't hate her.
Say that for the people in the back one more time.
I don't hate people. Like, hate's a very harsh word. I've also said I love her game. I think Caitlin Clark is an incredible player. But I also think Angel Reese is an incredible player. I think Rakia Jackson's an incredible player. I love the fact that Kate Martin is on the Aces when she didn't know if she was going to even make it to the WNBA. Right. So for me, it's not just about talking about one player. It's about talking about all the players that continue to uplift this game. They continue to bring more people to the game. And I don't know. For me, there's no hard feelings. There's no hate. There's none of that. I respect Caitlin's game. I think she is a great player, but I respect every player in this league, and I think it's okay to talk about that.
Thanks, Sheryl.
All right, there it is. That's it. You heard it from the horse's mouth right there. I don't hate her. Uh, let's move on to the next scene, please. Oh, shout out to Donetta. Y'all make sure y'all follow Donetta on social media platforms. Hold on, this is Donetta's tag. It's Miss Ball IND. Miss Ball and D. It's Miss Ball and D, y'all. Miss Ball and D on social media platforms. Y'all make sure y'all tap in and support her. Real solid individual. I met her a couple years ago when I was in Vegas for the first time, man, at a practice with the Aces. Real solid individual. Ashlyn Watkins, the latest news on her is that her suspension has been lifted. Um, I try not to like speak on college basketball players off the court dealings because like they're still kind of kids. But this one is a legal situation. And I feel like a legal situation, I feel like it's kind of fair game at that point because it's public information. It's being reported on multiple news outlets. Things like what was going on at UConn with Q and some personal stuff, and then what happened earlier with UConn as well in the summer. That was some personal stuff. I didn't want to speak on that, but this is something that made it to the legal level. So, shout out to WISTV. We're gonna just read it like academics. Columbia, South Carolina. Two trusted sources confirmed Wednesday that the suspension of University of South Carolina's women's basketball player Ashlyn Watkins has been lifted following her arrest on Saturday. Excuse me. Spokespersons with USC's athletic department told WIS that per policy, any athlete arrested is suspended. That spokesperson would not confirm on the record if Watkins was suspended at any time. I can tell you, Rashad Milligan can tell you right now, due to one source that I had very close to Watkins, they were hearing that the suspension has also been lifted. So you heard it from me as well. The one source, I ain't going to say sources because it's just one person, said that suspension they're hearing that it's been lifted as well. And this is a person really, really close to them. If you follow the page before, you know who I'm talking about. If you don't, you don't. Watkins was charged with assault and kidnapping, after an incident at an on-campus affiliated apartment complex, but maintained her innocence through her lawyer. Blah, 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 blah. I ain't gonna read all that. According to the USC police incident report, Watkins was in an argument with a female juvenile at 650 Lincoln Street, early Saturday morning. The report states officers found the juvenile being restrained by Watkins from jumping over the ledge of the building's park. Oh my gosh. Oh Jesus. Oh my gosh. The juvenile initially told police Watkins hit her multiple times, however, later said Watkins never hit her. Oh my goodness. Now we don't know the full story still. This is the story that we're hearing right now. What do I want to say? When you speak on these situations, you can end up getting Jesse Smollett. Because if I would have made a video on Saturday, Ashlyn Watkins, how could you be so stupid? I would have been on Sunday, on Wednesday, looking with the dumb face. The juvenile initially told police that Watkins hit her. However, later said Watkins never hit her. First-degree assault charge and battery charge is a felony, which means if convicted, Ashlyn could face up to 10 years in prison just for that charge. WIS News spoke to the local attorney, Representative Seth Rose, the Democrat Richland, to better understand the kidnapping charge. Is that what that means with the D and the R? D Richland, or is just like defendant Richland? I know with like politicians, the D stands for Democrat or Republican. But I assume with just attorneys, it's probably just district. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. I need to do better. I apologize. I need to do better. He said South Carolina's kidnapping statute needs to change for several reasons. A concern I think most people will be shocked to learn is restricting someone's movement for a moment in time is kidnapping, said Rose. Rose said when a law enforcement charges a person with kidnapping, it's often heavy handed if the person isn't responsible for abduction. A kidnapping charge is considered a felony punishable up to 30 years if convicted of the crime. Rose said misconceptions surrounding kidnapping is the reason alone the statute should change for South Carolina. The kidnapping statute needs to be changed because under its current law, if you restrict someone's movement for an instant, for a moment, you are guilty of kidnapping. That defies logic that the general public would see. When you see so arrested for kidnapping, okay. For kidnapping, you will rightfully think that they would thrown somebody in the back of their car and gone for a ride, or they locked someone in their basement. That is not what has to happen for it to be considered kidnapping. According to an arrest warrant, police said Watkins grabbed the juvenile's head and forced her down the hall and forced her to walk down the hall. The warrant says the victim was able to escape, pull a firearm, leading to police and fire to respond. As for the first degree assault and battery charge, Watkins faced up to 10 years in prison. Rose said if anyone does something with the intent to harm another person or lays hands on that person, it is considered assault or battery. But if I do something with the intent to harm you and I lay my hands on you, that's assault or battery. Then we start deciphering what the level of assault and the battery is. Both a second and third degree assault and battery charge are considered misdemeanors, while a first degree charge is considered a felony. She posted a $30,000 personal recognizable bond, and her first court appearance is scheduled for October 25th. Rose, whose district includes USC's campus, said he has spoken to prosecutors and will be working on a revision to state law and its definition on a more mere moment sufficing of a kidnapping or abduction charge. Little girl that said the thing about Ashlyn. Children, I hope you all take this as a lesson, and adults as well. You can't just be saying anything to the police, man. Cause it has real, you know what I'm saying, what you calls real real repercussions on a person that you trying to, you know what I mean? Like you trying not to get in trouble for running away, Carly Russell. You try not to get in trouble for about to jump off the bridge, Miss Lady, off the parking deck bridge. Because you're not trying to get in trouble. You're trying to protect yourself and your character and your image and your because you don't want to get a whooping when you get back home. You tell a lie on somebody else. And now that other person got to pay for you because you wanted to lie. Don't lie, bro. Also, the South Carolina fans, when the initial reports came out with the initial facts and the initial police report, and y'all was defending what was first reported, I ain't gonna lie. That was some nasty business, in my opinion. And I feel like, once again, you don't always have to just speak on everything and share your opinion on everything immediately as it happened. You can restate what happened, but stick to the facts what we're presented with. Hey, this and this, this and this and this. But all that, like, oh, it's just kids, man. It's just, bro, bro. It ain't no just kids, bro. In that situation, Ashlyn, all these kids, especially women's basketball players are the most high profile players on South Carolina's campus. It's not a football player. Can't name one football player on the South Carolina team, and haven't been able to since Spencer Rattler. And then probably before that, Jadeveon Clowney. And then before that, Alshon Jeffrey. I don't even know if he went to South Carolina. But oh no, well, you got the boy from Carolina right now, the Carolina Panthers. And I only know that joker because he speak with the accent and he go viral every time he do an interview. But I'm saying all this to say, South Carolina, those are the stars, the women's basketball players on campus. Every player on that team understands, especially if they benefited from NIL, which the top players like Ashlyn Watkins, who dunks the basketball, knows about very well, I would assume. you know what you have at stake and you know what you have to lose. So if you do something stupid, if you do something that puts another person in harm the way that it was originally reported, that's what happened. You ever had someone in harm and you did something stupid when you know you had this and this on the line for your future and your career. You either say it like that, if this stuff is right, she needs to be held accountable for that. But you don't say, oh, because you wouldn't say that if it was some bench warmer. If it was a bench warmer that never played in the game, you would have been like, oh, yeah, yeah, bye, hit the transfer portal, cut her immediately, cut her, get her off the team, remove her name off the roster immediately. That's what y'all would say. But since Ashlyn Watkins is good, since she's one of your best players, and since she's one of the vets on the team, oh no, I mean, we need to hear her out. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. And I don't like that. I just had to get that off. But Ashlyn, if this story is true, the second story that we're hearing that you saved a student or a juvenile, whoever it was, from jumping off the parking lot deck, the parking deck. Salute to you. You are a hero. Even if the person pulled a, you know what I'm saying, firearm on you because they were ready to end it. You are a hero. You are extremely brave for that. If what happened was the first thing that was reported, that was stupid of you and you threw away your whole career in your life. But if the second one is true, you are a hero, you're a great person, and you are extremely brave, and we salute you. Shout out to Cheese, man. My name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 5K subs. I guess to wrap up this thing, this is like a stream. I always wanted to stream. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. But this like a stream because it's gonna be like 2 hours. Y'all can play this in the background as y'all do y'all's you know what I mean? Okay, cool. We good, we good. Y'all do y'all's laundry or whatever. Uh New York clinched the first seed. And as you guys see here, it's down to the last one. Shout out to Indiana. Like I said, Caitlin Clark is the rookie of the year, bro. The fact that they're even in the playoffs now after getting off to a bad start, even this season against really good teams, says a lot to how that team turned around and really found a way. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful basketball, playing beautiful basketball. They're over 500. You have to salute that. And shout out to Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell for leading that charge in the backcourt. The Dream don't want the 8th spot. Neither do the Chicago Sky. And so I don't even know. Like, I remember Chris Williamson was like, Dallas going to mess around and sneak in. But it's looking like freaking Washington Mystics are going to do it. I ain't talking about the Mystics or Aaliyah Edwards or none of them jokers all year because my girl Shakira Austin been out. I'm sorry, not sorry. But them jokers might come in. What the heck? So, I don't know. Be interesting to see who gets the last spot. I think whoever gets that last spot is just going to lose to New York in the first round. But hey, it is what it is, man. But yes, my name is Rashad. Hold on. Anything else I want to say? Yo, Vegas and Seattle in the first round is crazy, bro. Vegas and Seattle in the first round is crazy. Vegas and Seattle in the first round is crazy, bro. That is literally a toss up. There's no given winner there. With the way Vegas has been playing, if you take like Vegas historically over the past couple years, oh yeah, hands down Vegas. Ain't no hands down Vegas no more. Even if Asia, yep, MIYT, it still ain't no given. They are 5-5 over that last 10 games. So is Seattle. Seattle mad. And them jokers still 7 games over. Since Skylar Diggins, I hate the basketball. We ain't even playing no basketball right now. Still 7 games over 500. Crazy. The standard's different when you play with winners. Phoenix put something together. Relatively. They've been underachieving the last couple years, but they finally put something together. Shout out to Cod Copper. Shout out to BG. Welcome home, BG. Shout out DT as well. Shout out Sophie Cunningham. Shout out Monique Billings. Yes, sir. Minnesota. Minnesota just always there in that 3 spot. Always there in that 3 spot. Shout out to Napisi Collier. Connecticut. With the return of Bree Jones, that's been huge for them this season. DB is always gonna do what she does. AT is always gonna do what she does. And yeah. And I think that's it. That's it. Those are I just talked about all the playoff teams. Yeah. So if you are new to the channel, once again, my name is Rashad Milligan. This is the road to 5K subs. Please take care of yourselves. And until next time, peace.
Enjoy Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.